3, 2, 1, go. Welcome to Grounds After Rounds.
Welcome, folks. Looks a little bit different.
Is this a green screen or is this Jack's kitchen?
Ooh, I don't know.
Jack's
We are
kitchen.
on a creek, kinda. I mean, it's
Kinda.
Kitty Creek.
Yeah.
Paul's Creek. I mean, there's
I'm
debate
allergic-
on whether what
I'm
it.
allergic to cats.
That took me a second. You know, I speaking of allergies and doctors,
Oh, goodness.
I went to. So I went to the audiologist, and I got some bad news.
Uh-oh.
He said this year, pretty much going to go deaf. I'm pointing to my left ear for my radio fans. I'm going to go fully deaf in my left ear next 3 to 4 years. Not too far behind in the right ear. Yeah, it was some really hard news to hear.
There it is. So I'm sitting there like, wait a second. Okay, this is a joke. Like he did lead into a joke because it's like, because I know there's like hearing things.
I really do know you have hearing aids.
Yeah, I
but you
didn't
don't
hear
wear
it was
them.
like, wait a second. Hard to hear. Yes, hard to
So,
hear.
all right. So
Awesome.
I told that 3 times. I told it
There
at
you
5. Totally messed it up. I forget exactly what I tried to say for the punchline, but it was like, yeah, I didn't like what he said. No, that's not what I meant. Hard. I couldn't hear him. No, it was hard to hear. It was hard to hear him. So
But you got it this time, and I think
so I said, all right, 6 a.m. I'll get it for 6 a.m. They'll appreciate it. Nailed it for
nice.
6 a.m. Laughed. Everyone was like, oh, that's really funny. And then I hit 7 a.m. right at the beginning because anytime I start telling a joke, my cadence changes or whatever. You know, definitely I have that. Like you've said, I have that
totally.
set up.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I told you this. So Kelly the other day was like, she goes, oh, this is a joke. I love your jokes. And I go, how do you know it's a joke? And she goes, it's so obvious. I'm like, She's like, with Eric, you know, he just rolls right into it. You're like, oh my God, was that a joke? Was that real? What? And I go, oh, well, that's not fun. She goes, no, I don't like that. I like yours. I like it because I need to know it's a joke or else I get really upset and nervous.
Especially if I don't get it. It's like, wait, was that a joke?
Right. So I appreciate it. So it's that's like, I guess that's my signature because I can't be you. Right. Like I definitely.
And I don't want you to be me.
Exactly.
I want you to be 100%
And so
you.
my signature is there is a definitive, the cadence changes. It's like, you know, it's sort of the, hey, Bob, you know, like coming out of the locker in that Nickelodeon show.
Yeah.
I forget what that was called.
What was that? I can totally picture
Barf. I heard that. There you go. That's
what's funny
because
because you had your doctor's appointment. I had my doctor's appointment with the ophthalmologist.
Okay.
And so
that's the guy that looks in your ears. No, that's the audio.
No, that's the guy you saw.
The guy that looks up the other hole. No, that's the.
Yeah, my eye holes. Looked at my eye holes, and turns out I'm colorblind.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Just took me totally by surprise. Just right out of the purple. Colorblind.
I was
colorblind.
I was there when you said that one before.
I feel like I said it last week.
Yeah.
At one point.
I like that one though. Totally out of the purple.
Totally out of the purple. Colorblind. No idea. So here we are.
Here we are because the wonderful and it's just a phenomenal company, Verizon. I mean, they really have got their stuff together. That because they have a monopoly on the peninsula when it comes to internet services, unless we wanted to get a satellite dish, they don't have to worry about good service. They can basically just do whatever they want because they are the only ones who provide internet service down where the gym is. And so once again, they've decided to cut the cable in their attempt to bury it. And so we have no internet. So we are here at my house where we have internet.
Which is funny because I think burying it is the follow-up
to cutting
on what they did when they cut it last time.
Right. So I was talking to Keith, and he was just like, I told him, I was like, why are you burying it? This prestige guy, because he knocked him.
Yeah.
He's like, just leave it. It's working fine. We're not running over it. So
yeah.
So no cable. Thanks, Verizon. And
he said it was out there Friday.
That he said he saw them out there Friday trying to bury it.
So I didn't even notice. I was down there because I coached Friday, you coached Saturday. It's one of those things. It's like it was working well enough I didn't even notice, but it's also like I just needed the music that day, so I wasn't using. Of course, that makes sense because usually I'm down there working the computer on Sundays. And I was doing it from home yesterday, so I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
So there we go. Thanks, Verizon.
So you
leave it alone.
You get to hang out in my kitchen. living room, great room, whatever, with the fireplace. And yeah,
Yes.
that door,
Here we
behind that door, behind Eric's shoulder, that's where the magic all started. It's the
other gym.
the
Not
other
what we
gym.
did before this.
Oh, hey, ooh.
Oh,
hey.
wait, yo, wait.
All right.
Hey,
Kicking
yo,
the
wait.
week off right.
Yeah, which is weird because it's Monday now.
It
so
is.
we're recording on Monday for a stretch.
So week in review. Last week, we did some
week.
workouts.
We got an open workout in.
So I would say my week in review, I did not do a nerding out on the creek. I'm a little delinquent the last couple of days. I got to get back on the horse with those. But I talked to the classes about it. So Friday and Saturday's workouts were sort of like, to me, the heart of the week. They sort of, the open wad was the
snatches and
the snatches and muscle ups. Wasn't happy with that.
How do you feel about it?
I wanted 8 rounds and totally didn't get 7. So like I went to, it was good learning. I'm not an 8-round athlete in that workout. No matter how much I want to be, I am a 7.5 round athlete, maybe like 7+, but I'm not an 8.
What's keeping you from being 8 rounds?
I just can't keep my breath on those bar muscle ups. Like I finish them and I can keep them unbroken because it's 3 of them, but I'm so out of breath that by the time I get back to the snatches, I've slowed down.
Just slow down.
I would need to go unbroken on the snatches for a while and unbroken on the bar muscle ups to be able to get 8 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
It's just,
there you go.
It's math, folks. It's just time distance. Just, there's only so much time and
there's only so much distance.
You got to go a distance. Anyway, that one, whatever, it was fine. It was good practice. But Fridays was the intense. It was the 3 times through, right? Max set of pull-ups, max set of press, max calories on the Echo bike. Was a rower, but we're rowing this week.
Did you change that Friday?
I changed it Thursday night. So it was already on the screen when you pulled it up. You just, you're in move mode. So no, sorry. It was
because I felt when you would like start putting everything, it was like, did I not see?
No. It was a combination too of, I appreciated all the rowers being out, all those rowers being out all day. And then we got to put them away for the cleaners. And then you got to take them back out in the nighttime. I was like, 3 Echo bikes will work just fine. And it was so much better to interfere with that L-sit hold because here's the deal too. Technique matters in rowing. And so if my technique isn't quite there yet, if my skill isn't quite there yet, I can't put power output into the erg to get the stimulus that anybody and everybody can go hard on the Echo bike. I don't care who you are. It is always hard. That's what we wanted. We wanted just brute max power output immediately followed by that static L-sit hold. And what you saw was a lot of people did awesome in the first round. Their holds were okay. And then it was just like, it just fell off. The pull-ups and presses stayed pretty consistent. A little bit of a degradation, but not too bad, about 10%. But those L-sit holds, and it's because do I breathe or do I hold? Right. Pick. So sometimes your body will pick for you. Right. Roger fell off, which was awesome. Those L-sits were phenomenal.
That's a good landing.
Yeah.
It was great.
Oh, you were there. That's right. You saw it. But overall, it was, if people ever wondered what does intensity feel like, taste like, look like, that workout is like, here's intensity. We seldom say you are allowed to take the training wheels off, take off the governor, and just go as hard as you can. We'll see what happens on the other end. I never tell athletes that that's okay to do because at some point what happens is you go real hard. It's going to take you forever to recover. You're not getting that maximum power output. We have little elves that walk around the house from time to time.
He's not so little anymore.
He isn't so little. He's taller than me. So the opposite of that is Saturday's workout, where it was the 25-minute AMRAP, long, not heavy, a lot of body weight stuff. But if you go out too hot, you can't keep moving in those little 20-second spurts, right? Of the sumo de la tie pull, lunges, sumo de la tie pull, lunges, and you go, I go, and then that nice carry. And so you find kind of that 65-70% range where the two meet, right? That maximum intensity and that kind of long, slow. This is a not mathematical to scale chart. This is where the fitness happens.
Are you doing hand shadow puppets?
There you go. That's those 2 workouts coupled Friday and Saturday were awesome. And it was really cool to see people like when they finished, Joe was like, that was worse than yesterday. Saturday, he goes, Saturday was worse than yesterday. I'm like, I bet you if I'd asked you that yesterday, you would not agree.
Yeah.
Right. Sam definitely wouldn't agree. It took him a good 35. He couldn't drive home. Kelly had to drive him home.
That I'll tell you that I think that Echo bike. I think that's the. Are you talking about Saturday or Friday? Friday. That Echo bike. I still think. I don't know. So I did that by myself, and then like watching people was like, I did not go hard enough when I did this, and part of it was too. I was like, let me just get it done. I'll let it go. Yep. I think if I was with someone, I'd probably try to do an extra couple pull-ups. I was going hard on the erg. And like after watching, I was like, I could have gone harder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was definitely one where I was like, I think I missed the mark on Fridays. I'm glad I got a workout in. That's where I'm at in my life right now. I got a workout in. I'm happy.
Yep.
But like watching other people, I was like, I definitely missed the mark on that one. But then watching the Echo bike was like, oh, that Echo bike, like
it's very potent.
Yeah.
Very, very potent.
Yeah. And I feel like you can almost hide on the erg because not hide, but there's the recovery.
Yep.
And there's no recovery on an Echo bike.
You never get up on step on that thing.
No.
It is perpetual effort.
So that was a really good call.
Fun. So that was a fun week.
Yeah.
Nice close out to it. And
yeah, you all are fitter.
Yeah.
Fitter with 5 weeks to go to the Open.
Correct.
Yeah.
This is GOAT week. It's kind of an open, pick what you're working on and do it 2 or 3 times. Get after it, and then we'll reset with.
Where some people have a herd of goats. Flock of goats? School of goats.
School.
I think it's herd of goats.
A quorum of goats?
A plethora?
Cohort of goats?
A plethora of goats?
Would you call it? Would you say this is a plethora? What is it? It's a plethora of
pinatas.
Pinatas.
Was it pinatas?
Yeah, it was the Three Amigos, right?
Yeah.
What are you looking at? Is it deer, fox?
What is that up back?
Is it a dog?
Oh, in your neighbor's yard. Do they always have that, whatever that structure is out there?
No, they got a new fence and they built it. It's really quite nice. Yeah.
Okay.
They got a new fence because they got a little dog. Well, he ain't so little anymore, but they got a new dog that was little and is not little anymore because it is now not a puppy. So
that's how it works. Yeah. So we're 5. Well, I guess by the time we get this, we're in 5 weeks. This will come out Friday. So
correct. Just under 5 weeks
to the Open.
Yeah.
The start date, the first workout release date is
March 11th.
March 11th. 3 weeks. This is my quick Open updates. Oh, I didn't check. So I checked early this morning, and we had 24 signups.
Wow.
Which is like, heck yeah, people.
Because I looked the way there. A third of the way there.
Yeah, like Sunday morning we had 9 or 10.
Nice. All right.
And then I don't know if it was the email, I don't know if it was the Facebook post or the Instagram post, or it was just hey, we're 5 weeks away. Let's get this thing signed up. So I'm really excited to see those numbers popped yesterday. So yeah, I think we're at 20. Yeah, we're about 25, 26, somewhere 24, 25, 26, somewhere around there as of 5 a.m. this morning. Swag store. How about them shirts, man? That design is so cool.
It is. Allie Snowman knows her stuff.
But I was asked, please for me to not advertise that we're selling those on social media. FYI.
Why?
Because Popeye and Rosie the Riveter are actually you can wear them, just don't advertise it on social media.
Get shut down.
It might even be more on Forever Fierce.
Oh,
so they're just
they asked.
So they're just hey, we're totally fine. Just keep it
internal.
your email, keep it internal. Yeah, they're fine.
That's very smart.
Yep, cool.
Because they're trademarked,
right?
Or copyrighted.
So whereas the Beast thing we did was the Old Bay can. And, it looked like it, but wasn't.
Yeah, that all makes sense.
So anyway, but it was cool. They did it.
So you never actually released the design on social media anywhere, did you? On Facebook, you did.
On the Facebook,
but it's just the sticker
on our community page, not on our public page.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
It's on our private community, on our internal page. Yep, and that's also the sticker. Yeah,
as well as things I don't. Right, this could be a very existential, philosophical type of conversation about morals and ethics. I feel like it's okay morally, ethically, because they are right. Who would we pay the royalties to?
Right,
and we're artistically using them to express something else. Now it is for profit, and we are gaining from it. So in that,
Her apparel's never for profit.
very true. We are probably it will cost us money to do this, as it usually does.
Yeah.
But by the nature of it,
Yeah.
it is a for-profit endeavor. Whereas in
Yeah.
academia, you can 100% use pretty much anything for academic purposes because you're not getting any money out of it.
Well, so I'm curious, like,
but so that's what I'm saying. Like, this definitely triggers like a gray area for me of like ethics and morals of just fairness, right? Like, it is not my intellectual property.
Right.
It's not even Allie's intellectual property. She used it to create new intellectual property. Mm-hmm. But do you owe royalties back to the original thing if you are making money off of it?
Right.
That's sort of what it comes down to. And it's sort of one of those, like, for the sake of the $16 that we will probably make, if that, more likely the $100 we'll spend or so. I think we're good. I'll sleep at night. I'll be all right.
I'll be sure that if they come looking for royalties, I'll tell you what, any dollar we make off these, we will gladly
we'll just give it to you.
We'll give it to you.
We're not even going to give you a percentage. You can have it all.
You can have it all four of it. Okay. So that's awesome for all of you that are signed up. Magnets are not here yet, but they may be here by the time you hear this.
Did you get magnets or just stickers?
They're magnets.
Oh, that's cool.
They're magnets.
First 50 to sign up, get your magnet.
Right. And second 50 to sign up. And
I'm a softie, man. What can I say? I want everybody to play. It's just not fair.
It's okay.
So you will feel this now that you have two children. Everything has to be fair. Right? Like, there's always this, like, if Andrew gets this, then twins have to get that. If Josh gets this, then Matt and Andrew have to get that. Like, there is always the equitable division of resources.
Right.
And sometimes it's quantifiable, sometimes it's not. But in the end, like, there has to be an agreed, like, okay, it was fair.
Yeah. Christmas,
birthdays, vacations, sports, like, everybody needs to get it. And so the first 50 signing up, it just, it triggered a feeling of like, but that's not fair. But I mean, what if somebody?
In all fairness, it's like, well, in all fairness, the discussion was like, well, we'll get 50. Well, do the coaches get one?
Right, but that's like, that's what actually.
In which case, we can't order 55.
That's what actually started it. It was like, well, I'm signed up, so I get one, but that seems kind of weird, seeing as we own the joint. Like, let's just get one for everybody.
So it's like, we can't order 55. It's either 50 or 100. We'll get 100. So sign up for the open, get a magnet. Don't sign up for the open, don't get a magnet. I want to stay firm on that.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it's very specific to the open. So there we are. And then I threw up the video in the newsletter about the teams. Thanks.
The sevens. The sixes, the fives. Holy crap! The fives, the sixes.
It's a long week,
and we've got a open space for the naming of the middle group. Sorry, I have
Violet
dogs.
Stoner.
For those that used to work out here, she's still here and still likes to welcome everybody when they come in. Which somebody's probably coming in the door right now. Yep, because apparently school's over at 2:45.
I sense that it's Dylan.
It was, yes.
Oh, it was. I knew that smell.
Where were we going? What was I saying? I don't even remember.
We're talking about teams. Oh, naming 7, 9:30.
Breakfast bunch, coffee crew, breakfast club.
Leftovers.
Oh, no. What does it mean? Daytime.
They are.
Day runners. What was that? Was that one of them? Morning medley, morning glories. Yeah, something. So anyway, there's a name available.
In which case, there's a slot for the morning glory hole to be filled.
So come up with your ideas and send them in, folks, because that 7 a.m. and 9:30 crew needs a name, and we're not going to let them name themselves.
It's true. Which they kind of are. We're kind of asking them to.
Well, if they're the only ones who listen, but if somebody from 5s or 6s comes up with a good name,
in 5s and 6s, if you have a better name, by all means. Other than 5s and 6s.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah?
Not.
Really, personally, I think they're all 10s.
Boom.
Cool.
All right, moving on.
Here we go. All right, so this week, I thought Jack was very busy yesterday on Sunday with emails.
Busy little bee.
Busy little bee. My phone was just ping, 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 ping. Just kidding. My phone's been on silent for 3.5 years now. And so conversation of just kind of a schedule and having a set schedule. And then I thought like, when I think of Jack you're very clear. I'm talking to you, but not talking to you.
Yeah.
Like you are very regimented and like, this is what I need my day to look like. And I'm very like, this is what I want my day to look like, but whatever you need here. And then my day becomes very fluid. And so I thought it was like, routine. Like it's good to have a routine or a schedule.
Like in the level 1 manual, something about routine is the enemy.
Routine is the enemy.
Yeah.
And so is it good? Is it bad? I think we all know the answer is like, there is a sweet spot between the two. I think being rigid and being protective of your time is very important, but I think you also need to be fluid. Oh. Eat a little bit of everything here on.
She got a little sick, but she'll get sick out there and then probably eat it. For you non-dog lovers, you're welcome.
Dogs eat puke.
Yeah.
Sometimes not their own.
All right. So
anyway,
you asked this question. Thank you for teeing it up and asking her, because I've been thinking about it. And so I will tell you, I actually am not like I don't like having a rigid schedule or want a rigid schedule. It's not something that I will say I've always grown up that way. I think it was a byproduct of the sports I played. I was a swimmer, rower, water polo player. So they were always morning sports.
I'll say rigid too is like,
I
use as like a relative to, like, I don't mean it's like rigid. Your schedule is rigid relative to the schedule that I
I don't find that derogatory in any way. I think that's a good description of it, because it is sort of rigid. Like I don't really want it to change. But so I grew up like practice was from 4:45 a.m. to 6:30. You had 15 minutes to shower and eat. You had to be in class at 7:05. Like that was my high school experience the entire year, basically. Yeah. So like I've always, and then you had afternoon practice, sometimes a lunch lift. Like there was always, things were set. Then I joined this thing called the Navy, went to the Naval Academy. Like they have relatively structured existence.
Something like that.
There are bells in between the classes. What I will say though is and when given the opportunity to not have a schedule, I do flounder. And I get flustered and kind of lose the ability to deliver on what I promise to others. And so that's what I have found, is that if I don't put a boundary or a limit on like, well, I can meet from this time to this time. If it's just let's just see what happens, nothing will ever happen.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, they are artificial and they are 100% negotiable, and things can change, and like it has to, because that's life. If you're so rigid and fixed, right, you're going to miss everything that goes by. But what I know is, if left to my own devices, I will overextend. I will overpromise. I will try to do too much. I will start to feel FOMO. Yeah. And so by having a rigid schedule, I have to make choices around, well, I would love to do this, and this. But if I do that, all of it's going to suck. Yeah. And I'm going to disappoint myself and everybody else. So I have to pick one, because I only have a half hour or an hour or whatever. And so by having to pick one, I now know I can over deliver on that one. Yeah. And that is the habit that long term I've tried to and like to cultivate for me as a person, as a professional. The schedule is just the medium or the thing that allows me to live that type of life. And that's sort of the examination, I think, a while ago, in my early 30s, when you're not right. You get out of your 20s and you're still kind of like, you can go out all the time. You can do whatever you kind of want. You can wake up hungover most days and you'll be fine. Right. As long as, you can just keep burning that freaking candle at both ends. And then at some point you're like, oh, I don't think I can keep doing this. Yeah. You're maybe a little bit more professional. Maybe you have some more responsibility in a job, but you know what I mean? Like, I dare say you're a grown up. And you realize like, oh no, like I have commitments and I have things and people that are counting on me. And, you put layered on top of that, kids, wife, deployments, millions of dollars of equipment, secret material, weapons, explosives, right? Like
Right.
now all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, I have to have some sort of structure, because if I say I'm going to be at a place at a certain time with a certain capability and a certain amount of people, well, that's a time distance problem, because I got to get all that from where I am to where it needs to be by this certain amount of time. There ain't no room for, well, we'll see how it works out. Or,
Yeah.
well, I mean, I really hope stuff works out well. It's like, you got to have contingencies, you got to have branch plans, you got to have emergency plans, you got to have like, well, what's worst case scenario, best case scenario, most likely, least likely, what's the enemy going to do? What are my friends going to do? What resources do I need? Right? That all, now that I don't have to do any of that, looks like a Google Calendar that is color coded and parsed out half hours and hour blocks.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
And so for me, the schedule isn't the driving thing. It's just the mechanism that allows me to live a life that I have examined and said, this is the type of person I want to be. And this is the type of person I want to present and be for those around me.
Yeah.
And so there you go.
Yeah. I think when we were talking about the coaches forum in email yesterday, I was talking to Meg about it. I was like, I was getting FOMO because like I want to do this thing, but I can't. Like the time, it was already hard enough as it is now with Meg back working.
Yeah.
It's like, and I was like, well, I guess I was like typing the email. And it's like, I think I was saying, I was like, I could do this time and I could probably do this time. And Meg goes, no. She goes, and she said to me, she goes, you're too fluid. Say you can do this time or this time. If you can't do it, you can't do it. And it's like,
good for her.
And she goes, and you're putting out there exactly what it is that you need. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. I was like, okay, I'll do that. And I think I said, I can do this time and this time.
Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2 to 2:50. And when I saw it, I chuckled because I'm like, oh, wow, thanks for the options. But then I chuckled again because I went, no, because I know that if we can make those 2 times work, that's success. Like that. You set it up that if the other 3 of us who have consistently been doing it could bend to those times, we all now have a greater degree of long-term success, sustaining that success, rather than a hope and a wish of like, well, I might be able to make it, so I'll try and like meet them halfway. It was like, no, we were relatively all flexible.
Yeah.
Right. And so,
well, that's when I saw it was like a lot of back and forth. I was like, it could be this, could be this. And I was like, and so when Meg said, pick this time or this time, she's like, if you can't do it, you can't do it.
Yeah.
I was like, all right. And when you replied back, I was like, holy shit, it worked.
And that's like, right. Like,
I was like, and sometimes it does. And
it's the same thing of why we're meeting on Mondays, right?
Yeah.
When we had to reschedule this, it was because, you know, you were like, well, how about weekends? And I didn't like, sure. I could have said, sure, let's do a weekend.
Yeah.
Knowing full well, I just made it probably a 70% chance that fails the first weekend.
Right.
Because I forget about hockey or something else comes up or we want to go somewhere or whatever. And it's like, nah, because I will tell you what I've done is I carve out the weekends to be they are the catch-all. Like there is no schedule on the weekends.
Yeah.
It is a free for all. Like, and so that the weekend can be wide open and you were right. And so it was a volley back, and we're here. And this probably, I don't know, we'll see how it goes, but long term, I like the Monday. I like front ending. I like front end loading my week. Yeah. I like getting, I had a guy, so this is kind of a funny story, but we'll see where it goes. He would never schedule anything before 10 a.m. on Monday. He would not schedule a single meeting, a phone call. You couldn't find him in his office, anything. He also never answered his phone nor replied to emails. Okay. Like ever. Okay. He was the training officer at one of the largest mobile units on the East Coast, one of the most active mobile units. He was my training officer when I was the ops at that mobile unit. And you couldn't get him. But he was also a 26-year limited duty officer who had done like superhero type of stuff and really didn't give a crap and was infinitely more effective knowing that he didn't want to waste his time checking email. He didn't want to waste his time answering phone calls. And if you needed to find him before 10 a.m. on Monday, guess what? It's on you to come find him because he's probably doing something that is going to be more important than what you need him for anyway. Right. And so you knew that, and you knew if you wanted Hot Rod, you had to go find him or you had to talk to him. And it was amazing. The guy's got a ton of stuff done. Yeah. I remember trying to do that?
You couldn't?
No,
Yeah.
because I didn't have, right? Like I didn't have the chops.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I told somebody else this other story of like pulling a Keller, which
Right.
is now that, did I tell you that?
When we took this on the podcast.
Oh, all right, we go. Yeah. It's like,
I was trying to remember what it's called when you talked about like, when you're younger, you're burning the candle at both ends.
Pull up the Keller.
Yeah.
So anyway, that schedules matter if they facilitate. For me, this is how I whatever. I don't care. Use Outlook, use Google, use a crayon and a yellow sticky. Like it doesn't matter if it facilitates Sharpie and a piece of paper. Right? They're your notes, man. You being what you need to be for you and for those around you. And for me, one of the is if I say I'm going to do something, be somewhere, or it is like hardwired in me that I'm going to do everything I can to make that happen. And a schedule allows me to do that so that when I'm showing up and present, and when I'm showing up at that time or at that thing for whatever it is, I am 100% there. That's actually why this bugs me doing it here, because the kids coming and going, the dogs, I have anytime a delivery shows up here, the dogs are going to lose their crap. The box is perfect because it's isolated, it's separate for both of us. So like those types of things.
Well, even for me now, like that's I had to leave 5 minutes earlier. And like I said, it was here because we couldn't do it at the box.
Right.
This just made more sense. But I have to leave 5 minutes earlier, and it's already again, today is Meg's first day back at work.
Oh jeez.
So already when I said I was leaving, a little bit earlier than I expected or than I originally planned, it was like I thought you weren't leaving this. I was like, oh, I know, but Everett's asleep and Fiona's doing rest time. So can I take a mulligan on this one?
Tiptoe out?
While I'm cursing Verizon on the way out the door. But yeah, and that's where, like I said too, one thing that was kind of problem with this too, like you're talking about that, and then I've been seeing all this stuff about this is what the billionaires do, and this is their this is their routine, this is their morning routine. They wake up and they wake up at 4:30 in the morning, and then they meditate for 10 minutes, and then they read non-biographical, or they read nonfiction for 20 minutes, and then they go for a run, and then they blah 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 blah. And at the end of the day, why are you even doing that?
So I would say
when you say
Tim Ferriss's podcast, he got so many episodes, and then he took a lot of those episodes and compiled them into this thing called the Tools for Titans, Tools of Titans
or something like that. Yeah.
I think a book like that, or a resource like that, or listening to those podcasts, what you notice is patterns emerge, but what then happens is articles come out, or people take snippets and they put the chicken before the egg.
Yeah.
And it's sort of it's not the tools that make the Titan. It's just that it seems like form follows function. Right. So we could totally bodybuild and do nutrition cuts and figure out and be aesthetically geared towards trying to look a certain way, but not be able to power clean more than our body weight.
Right.
Versus you look at the games athletes and you're like, holy crap, they look like gods. They're amazing looking, men and female. But you go back 10 years, they didn't really look like that.
Yeah. So
what happened? Form follows function. At some point, you will look a certain way or be a certain way if you kind of have this set pattern. But if you try to color by that pattern, so if you try to color by the numbers, you will never have art.
Right.
Artists generally live a certain type of lifestyle. Titans of business live a certain lifestyle. What they don't talk about though is what are the other things that person is having to do? What are the other things they're not doing, that they're choosing not to do, or having to put sacrifice in quotes?
Well, you mentioned in your blog this week too about how the person you were talking to, they weren't hitting the intensity they used to.
Yeah.
But then what were the things that they had to sacrifice to even just get to the gym?
Yeah, she was. So, she was so wrapped up. It was a great conversation. They always are. Half the time she's coaching me, half the time I'm coaching her on these phone calls. And yeah, she's just like, she said no to a bunch of stuff just to be able to come to the gym, and had gotten over being sick. And so it was like really back to the, and so she was doing the men's RX weight. She was doing the men's volume plus a little bit more. She was running a little bit long. I forget the details of it, but she's like, she couldn't add volume and keep it in the time domain that they were making her do it in. She was like exceeding, and she couldn't hit the intensity.
Right.
And she's like, I was so frustrated. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing this for? Like, why are you there? Because we had just last week had a conversation about why she was going back to a box. Is she missed being that one face that people see. And she missed having that one face that, and she's picked up some classes. She's helping out some of the kids' classes to coach and stuff. So it was like, you are realizing this is psychotic, right? Like you're not training for anything. You're just moving. It's a movement practice. And that's what I mean when I asked her the intention. She picked right up on it, and it was like, I know. Yeah. But what we were working on was that somatic sensation, recognizing it soon enough before the cascade of reaction happens. Right. That's the move. And that's what a label hides, is I'm so pissed off. I'm so angry at this. I can't believe they did that. Why would they, right? You've already labeled like 6 different labels on the emotional response. Yeah. And that somatic sensation is way in the rearview mirror. And so the question is, can you feel it and take a second before labeling it, that half a breath before you go, God, I'm pissed off. Because now you're reacting rather than responding to the somatic sensation, the feeling, that pit in your stomach or the hair on the back of your head or the, the little tingle, like that's the move. And that's where next week's mindfulness practice is the labeling of emotions. Start with your breath, body scan, feel your actual body in the moment. Don't try to rush past, like take patience and, then you drift off, fall asleep, whatever. Yeah. This next week after that is then labeling those emotions or labeling that feeling like, oh, my elbow hurts again. Why does my elbow always hurt? Like, well, what does hurt mean? What does hurt actually feel like? Well, it's throbbing. Well, is it throbbing or is it pulsing? Is it pulsing or is it hot? Is it hot or is it tingly? Right? Like, tease it out. And is it still there? Well, no, it's past. Oh, look at that. Yeah. So was it actually ever hurting, or were you making it hurt? Right. Because you were like, this is the second arrow thing too, of you're walking through the woods, somebody shoots you with the arrow. And you're like, that hurts, right? Like, that sucks. Like, I'm sorry you got shot with the arrow. But then what happens is like, oh, why did they have to shoot me? Why did he shoot me in this arm? I need this arm. And why did he use the red arrow? And oh, this is my favorite coat. Oh, I'm gonna have to, right? Like,
where are you hiking? By the way, where is this?
It's a metaphor, Eric.
Oh, okay.
But don't let look, stuff happens. Mm-hmm. Don't add to the pain, to the suffering by continuing to exasperate it. Yeah. Anger is real. Emotions are real. See how long you actually stay angry without continuing to feed the anger, right? Something happens, makes you angry. Then what do? Well, you think about why it happened. Then you think about the person. Then you think about how many times they've done that in the past. You're not in the present moment anymore. That anger is already long gone. You've continued to feed the fire of the anger with either past misremembering of things or future. God, they're always going to do this. Now I got to deal with this from here on out.
It's so funny because I feel like Fiona's just like, right now is just like a primo example of like just before I left today, she was, what did she want to do? She had this like bubble thing that she wanted to play with. And I said, we're not going to play with that in the house because it's going to make a mess. And she lost her mind. Just, and she was like laying on the ground and kicking. And I said, and I asked if I could pick her up and hold her. And she let me pick her up and hold her, but she's still crying. And then I just went and sat down with her. And she went from like just upset to seeing this like broom sitting next to it. And she reached for it and then started talking about this book room on the broom, like literally within a second.
Right.
I was like, and that's totally like, sometimes that's where we are with our emotions. Like,
yes,
we have the, I guess, capacity to deal with them. We have she's 3 years old.
Right.
She's still figuring it out.
And she will win any argument with you
Yeah.
because she's not worrying about getting to the market on time,
Yeah.
making sure that you pay the rent that month, making sure that like, oh, we got to also get Everett this other stuff. Like she's just focused on the cookie.
Yeah.
So they will always win the argument about the cookie,
Yeah.
which is why parents, because I told you so, because I'm in charge and you're not getting the cookie. And that's the end of the argument because you can't win it.
No.
Yeah.
There's no winning.
Or just distract them with, you can't have the cookie, but you can have this carrot stick. Ugh, nice.
And then she'll say, no, now I want 2 cookies because you think I'm an idiot. She's a headstrong little thing. So cool. Yeah.
Nah, my gratitude is, that it is my conversations weekly with my good friend Maddie Jones. It is it's funny, we were lamenting the mental health industry within the military it's trying its best and it's doing great things, but they're like, yeah, we can get you in for an appointment in October. And she goes, oh, it's December. And they go, yeah, October 2021. And so it's like, okay. And the same thing happened to me. It was like November and they're like, yeah, I think we got an opening in like May. We can get you in May. And I'm like, I'll take it. And so that was May of the pandemic, but it opened up in March. And so it was sort of that, like, take it when you can get it, take it. And we'll keep putting Band-Aids on gushers until we have to. But like October is going to be here before we know it. Like, that's the thing. Like, time goes by so quickly. Yeah. But in the moment, it's like, no, I need it now. I want it now. And it's like, okay, but so our conversations for both of us, for me, they are like, I'm not in a relationship with a therapist right now, taking a break, but I feel like that weekly conversation with her is such an outlet, and her ability to ask questions, but then also need me and want me to ask questions. Mm-hmm. I am coaching at a level that I haven't done in a long time because it is like so coactive and it is so awesome. And she started it. So my gratitude is her saying like, I'd like to make this a regular thing. And we did. And it's awesome. And it's like we both almost cancel every single week, but we always show up.
Then once you get into it.
And so I love it. So that's, thanks, Maddie. You're the best. And
cool.
She's got really cool dogs.
Yeah. Well, speaking of time, like feeling so far away and then all of a sudden it's here. Like, so mine is Meg because she's started working on today. So she got her 14 work. She got her, Everett was born after October 1st. So she got 12 weeks paid maternity leave. And then she took an extra 2 weeks after that. So 14 weeks is just gone. And like, but I mean, she was
3.5 months.
Yeah.
Bam.
Gone.
Everett's almost 4 months old.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Gosh. And he's wearing 6 to 9 month clothes. But it's just so I don't know. My gratitude's just been Meg these last 3+ months. It's been cool. Like, I'm really glad that she got that time. I'm really glad that she literally didn't have to think about work those few months, because that time, it really is like, when I think about mothers going back to work and like someone going back, and some choose to. Some people are totally fine with it, and some people aren't. It's just like I'm like holding Everett today, and even though he's like feels massive and just so solid, like I'm like, oh, he's just still this like little thing. And like when I think of the role of a mother to a baby, it's like, God, like it feels too soon. And like, even though Meg's like sitting over there on the computer working, so I don't know. So it's got to be hard, but I appreciate. My gratitude is that Meg got that time. My gratitude is Meg in that time. And so now here we are in this, okay, Meg's back to work and gym's in full swing, and
that's right.
Fees in full swing, no school till March.
Life is on.
And so here we go. Cool,
man.
That's where we're at.
This is a fun one.
Yeah.
All right.
Always.
Open, register, you get a magnet.
Put
my hand outside we had to do different lighting structure. It's actually, we'll see how this turns out.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's good.
And I don't know, go get your ears checked. Make sure you get your eyes checked.
Yeah.
Because you may be going deaf or you may be colorblind. Either way.
Check all your holes.
Yeah. It's purple you don't want to hear.
The Color Purple?
What?
Isn't that a movie?
It is. It was a book first, then it was a movie.
Or no, The Color Purple.
The Sound of Purple?
They made a book out of it.
They made a book out of The Sound of Music.
It's a good movie.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
See you on the creek.